If you were an NFL general manager, who would be the first running back you would select in this year's draft? Alabama's Eddie Lacy, who scored 17 touchdowns last season, or Wisconsin's Montee Ball, who rushed for 77 touchdowns over the course of his career? To help us decide the better back, we bring in our Wisconsin insider Phil Dawson and from Alabama, Chris Stewart. Chris, we'll start with you. Eddie Lacy was the best back on the best team in the best conference in America. Why should he go before Montee Ball?
I really believe that we still have yet to see the best that Eddie Lacy has to offer. Limited by injuries, playing behind Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson early in his career, and then sharing time with T.J. Yeldon this past season. I really think his numbers could have been much, much higher. And if he's able to stay healthy, I think he's got a chance to have a wonderful NFL career.
Well, and the thing is, too, Montee Ball had to do the same thing about playing behind and playing with other running backs, including the freshman of the year and another guy in Melvin Gordon who's going to be just a showcase player this year. But speaking of numbers, nobody did numbers better than Montee Ball. I mean, you could give Eddie Lacy 2 touchdowns for every one that he scored, and he still wouldn't eclipse what Montee Ball did over his seasons in Wisconsin. We're talking about a guy, 77 career touchdowns, as you mentioned, Ray. And the trump card, I think, here, as good as we know that the SEC is, it wasn't that great defensively this year. When you look at the top defenses, top 50 defenses in the NCAA, on the schedule for Alabama, there were 5. On the schedule for Wisconsin, there were 9. So that means going up against better competition week in, week out, despite not playing in the SEC.
Phil, a year ago, Montee Ball was projected, though, as a first-round pick. He returned to the Badgers, as we all know, won the Doak Walker as the nation's top back. How, though, do you respond to critics who say there's a lot of wear on his tires and he lacks agility?
Well, the thing is that he didn't miss time. He's one of the most durable backs that you can think of. The greatest compliment he gives to himself when asked at the Combine, who do you remind yourself as? What kind of back do you think you can be in the league? The guy he mentioned, Curtis Martin, who, as we know, is a Hall of Famer, had the record for 1,000-yard seasons consecutive, and also is the 4th all-time rusher in history. So that's the guy that he projects as. Another guy, Sean Alexander, but tougher. That's what he is. He's strong, durable, and productive.
Chris, Eddie Lacy was spoiled running behind some of the best offensive lines in the country. If he doesn't have that in the NFL, is he good enough to still make plays?
Well, I think he is, and I think we see that in the open field because as big a running back as he is, the elusiveness that he has with the spin move has made him very, very difficult to stop throughout his career. And, you know, it was really interesting. Before he really even burst onto the scene, there were people that were telling you when Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson were still on campus at the University of Alabama that Eddie Lacy was the guy with the most talent. We didn't get to see that maybe at full strength throughout his Alabama career, but I think his ability to catch the football out of the backfield and then do something with it in the open field, whether it was through the run or after making a catch, shows that he's got an opportunity to be so very good in the National Football League.
Put on your NFL GM cap. Where do you take Eddie Lacy on Thursday?
If I've got a late first-round pick, then I'm going to go with Eddie Lacy. I really think that he's worth that risk because I think he can be that good.
Phil, where would you draft Montee Ball?
The same spot. If you have a late first-round pick and you're looking for a guy that can help your team immediately, knows how to get in the end zone, and we know that touchdowns still matter more than anything else in the league, he's worth the first-round pick, but I'm projecting that he'll probably fall to the second and be snatched up by a team that's really going to love him.
All right, Chris and Phil, thanks very much. We'll find out the answer to this debate this week in New York. And who are the most overlooked players in this year's draft? Find out the guys deserving more respect only on CampusInsiders.com.